Hey everybody, this is Drink64 and it's time to get this party started as the Bounce Lounge has now aired. So, just overall thoughts on this episode. I enjoyed it for the most part. I enjoyed what it was and I enjoyed the lesson that it actually taught in this episode and how it did it. But overall, I can't say this is my favourite episode. I didn't enjoy it as much as others and I have to say it was just okay for what it was. I didn't heavily enjoy it, but I didn't dislike the episode, so I guess there's that. It was just okay. But anyway, to get straight into the episode, no fooling around here. Basically, the episode starts off with Ponyhead crying and in sheer pain because I really don't like seeing Ponyhead this way. It was actually kind of heartbreaking. Basically telling Star that the Bounce Lounge is closing. And in case you guys still don't remember from Season 1, the Bounce Lounge is the place that we actually went to very briefly when we first ever met Ponyhead. She took Star there and Marco didn't want to be there, so they just left. Marco almost died as well there, let's not forget that. But yeah, there was that. And Star gets all upset too over it, as it was their place back in the day. Marco obviously doesn't care too much just because he was never around and he never gave a shit anyway, so go Marco. So basically they head to the Bounce Lounge and find that it actually is closing, and it looks pretty barren, it looks really desolate, like there's nothing here. And apparently, as we heard later in the episode, it was always like this, so it wasn't exactly the most grand place in the first place, so who the hell cares really, it's just a club. But then some woman comes down who turns out to be the owner of the Bounce Lounge, and I gotta be honest with this character, I don't like her. Like, I do not like her character at all. She's just very boring to me, and even toward the end of the episode where she does reveal why she's actually closing the Bounce Lounge, I never really cared about her character. I'm not really interested in seeing her again, and to be honest, now that the Bounce Lounge is actually closed, I don't think we will do, so there is that. So basically, she tells Star, Ponyhead, and Marco that the Bounce Lounge is closing because they don't have the funds necessary to basically pay the loan to keep it open, which kind of makes sense until you get to the end of the episode and find out why it's actually closing, which is kind of a okay reason, kind of a worse reason in my opinion, but okay, very well then. And basically, the three go to take a look at some photos that are on a Bounce Lounge sort of wall for some reason. I don't know, maybe they just keep these photos here for safekeeping, I don't know. But just of the Bounce Lounge crew or gang or however you want to think about it, basically partying. So you had Star, you had Ponyhead, you had Kelly obviously. I'm kind of glad she was in this episode. I had a feeling she would be. I hoped she would be at least. And we have two new characters who I at the moment don't remember the names of. I apologize. God, my memory is terrible sometimes. But we got some new characters in this episode which I really liked, and can't say I didn't like these characters, but I didn't like these characters. I didn't think they were very interesting, and I honestly hope we don't see these characters again because they weren't interesting to me. We didn't see much of them, and if we do see them again, hopefully we'll see them in a better light. Like Kelly, I do like Kelly because we've seen her enough to at least have a good understanding of, that character. But anyway, basically they decide to get the Bounce Lounge crew together again, and so they head off to get Kelly, who has been at the Goblin Dog stand for quite a while. So we're seeing that again, which is really cool. And she's broken up with her boyfriend, who is on top of her head, so she now has a massive bald spot, and now she's all upset over that, but she learns that the Bounce Lounge is closing, and she doesn't seem to care that much, but she still goes ahead with helping it out anyway. And they go to see this pirate guy who was great at partying, I think, and, he accepts because he's great at partying. I have no idea, personally. I don't really care for these new characters, to be honest. And then we meet this weird scarf character. Again, I don't care. I don't know these characters very well, but, they accept because they're all part of the old Bounce Lounge crew. So they head over and, 5-6 people ain't going to be enough to basically get the money, so they just start partying, and they just start partying to make money, and then people start flocking in from all over, eventually sucking in from all dimensions, and everyone coming in to join in the party, which is really really weird. But everyone's there, even the Goblin Dog guys are there for some reason. I have absolutely no idea why, but it is really cool to see. And just everyone's there. I'm sure in the crowd there are some characters that we've seen before that I should recognize, but really don't, because I don't look at the episodes in as much detail as I probably should. I just give my thoughts on the episodes. But yeah, just overall, really partying to get the money. They do end up getting the money in, which is really cool, but then we get to the point in the episode where the owner of the Bounce Lounge ends up stopping the party because apparently it wasn't because of the money in the first place, and it was actually because she just wanted to stop because she's tired of partying. And here's the thing, right? I don't really understand this line of reasoning for why the bounce lounge should be closed, to be perfectly honest, because yes, you're tired of basically partying, but that doesn't really mean that she can't get someone else to take over. Like, there was no need to destroy the bounce lounge in this episode. There was no need to permanently get rid of it, yet just get someone else to take over, and that's what a lot of businesses do and a lot of that sort of stuff. So I don't understand that sort of reasoning. Yes, you're tired, but get someone else to take over. I think that's the point. But I think it really leads into the point of this whole episode, and a really great lesson that this episode sort of delivers, and that is that things end, things die, and things have to go eventually, which is really applicable to all of humanity. And as well, this show and all other shows, and you know, things like Gravity Falls and Regular Show and that sort of thing, all had to end at some point. Like Steven Universe, this show, MLP, are all going to end at some point. And I think this show really delivered that message really well. You know, everything will end at some point, and I think that's something a lot of people have to accept. It took me fucking forever to accept that Gravity Falls was finally over. I mean, but let's be honest, that show left a huge hole in a lot of people's hearts after it ended. But really, I think this episode did it really well the way it delivered its lesson. I'm very happy with that. Again, not the most perfect episode, but again, I don't hate it in any way. I do think it's a very enjoyable episode. It does deliver its lesson very well. We see Ponyhead again and we see Kelly, so that's pretty cool. But I think the disappointing thing is we got introduced to a maximum of 3 new characters in this episode. The owner of the Bounce Lounge, the pirate partying guy, and the scarf guy, and honestly, I don't care about any of them. I don't care about their characters, mostly because we haven't seen enough of them, really. If we do see them again, I would like to see what they can do, but really, as far as we've seen them, I don't care. They don't interest me as characters, and I don't know, I don't really like their character very much, so that's kind of a shame, but that is really my main quarrel with this episode, to be perfectly honest. Don't know if you guys agree with me. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know down in the comments below. But overall, it was a good episode. Okay episode. I didn't enjoy it as much as something like Math Magic, or not just because it wasn't very plot heavy, but again, there are just things I didn't really like about this episode, to be perfectly honest. Again, the characters, so yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.